Okay, I'm gonna play some music. Play some music. We are going to listen to some some yes, the best of Haydn. But a little quieter because it is a little it's a little loud, isn't it? Do, 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 do. Okay, this is our salmon research stream. Okay, let's fucking go. Okay, so this first article is restoring freshwater habitat mosaics to promote resilience of vulnerable salmon populations, right? So, um, the phenotypic diversity and abundance. Yeah, phenotypic diversity and abundance drives salmon resilience in the face of increasing environmental variability. But what happens when human activity fundamentally alters the habitat complexity that drives this diversity? And how can we restore habitats to recover both diversity and abundance to support salmon perseverance in a warming climate? Fish. Hi, Nyan. Okay. Um, Here we look at the impact of a large watershed restoration effort on the abundance and climate resilience of. Okay, this Haydn is a little much for me. Haydn, you're a little. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's a little silly guy. He's. This is the German music. The German, das German music. And okay, well now I have to. This is. I'm not very professional. Okay. Okay. So we're looking at the impact of large watershed restoration efforts on the abundance and climate resilience of the three remaining core natural spring-run Chinook salmon populations in the California Central Valley. So that's Butte, Mill, and Deer Creek. And that's different than the... Basically, with the salmon populations, there's different... there's different time, as far as I understand, there's different time. So there's the spring run salmon, the fall run salmon, the winter run salmon. I'm assuming there might be summer run salmon as well, and the different populations have different needs. And a while ago I was reading this article. Not, yeah, I think this one. This is spring run salmon, right? So spring run salmon is a evolutionarily significant uh, unit that has genetic differences to the other species. Um, shit. One second. I'm using my phone for chat, so I need to grab my phone. I need to grab my phone charger. Okay, I am back, and it is time for more fishage. Okay. So, yeah, and then it talks in this other, the Klamath River restoration. So the Kuruk or Kauruk tribe from the Klamath River, they were doing stuff. They actually took down they took down four dams that were built in the between the 1912 and the 1960s, because it was degrading the water quality and causing algae blooms and stuff. And so that's why there's no that's why and so that this is supposed to allow them to get to their old spawning grounds, right? Which is pretty poggers. Let's see. Okay. So the Butte Creek fish, which have floodplain access, had higher overall productivity and faster juvenile growth compared to the Mill and Deer Creek populations, and the proportion of floodplain inundation was positively correlated with Butte Creek adult abundance 2 years later, right? While Butte Creek exhibited significant increases in abundance post-restoration, it generally exhibited lower phenotypic diversity and only a marginal increase in population stability after restoration based on the coefficient of variation. Honestly, I don't know what the coefficient of variation is. I've only taken one statistics class. In particular, I think it has to do with it's like how I think we might have talked about this in my statistics class, but it's like it comes out as a percentage, and it has to do with like the variance from the mean, right? So it's kind of like the standard deviation. In particular, Butte Creek salmon tended to exhibit larger drops in escapement following dry years compared with Mill and Deer Creek populations, presumably due to limited inundation of its downstream floodplain. The late migrating juvenile strategy, which disproportionately supported Mill and Deer Creek populations during droughts, was uncommon among Butte Creek adults. Increased spring run stock complex stability was found. Low post-restoration, when combining the three spring run populations. However, among river pairwise correlations, what is a pairwise correlation? Oh no. More statistics. Shit. I haven't thought about statistics in like a year. Ah! Ah! Oh, yeah, I know this. I know this. This is... I know of this. So if it's 0, then there's no correlation, and then if it's negative, then it's negative correlation, and then if it's positive, then it's positive correlation, right? Okay. However, among river pairwise correlations also suggested increased synchronization and population abundances post-restoration, potentially due to increasing frequency and severity of extreme climatic events such as droughts and ocean warming. This study underscores the importance of restoring a connected mosaic of aquatic habitats across modified landscapes, such as cold water refugia. I guess that's just a plural of refuges, and floodplains to preserve multiple across-population life history pathways for increasing salmon stock complex stability and abundance. These landscape-scale, process-based habitat restoration efforts are likely to be crucial for the successful long-term recovery of very vulnerable species in a rapidly changing climate. Okay. Introduction. Habitat loss and homogenization. Yeah. I know things. And homogenization from human activities combined with climate warming are major drivers of species extinction. Billions of dollars are invested annually to restore degraded or lost habitats for the recovery of vulnerable species. However, decisions often have to be made with limited data across ecological and jurisdictional boundaries. Recovering imperiled populations thus remains a daunting issue, and effective recovery actions and policies will need to avoid widespread human-induced extinctions. Or will be needed to avoid widespread... what even is Hydrax? What is Hydrax? Oh, is this dude? This dude needs to be researched. This dude... Where is the young Hydrax research? Young Hydrax sounds like... Hydrax just sounds like a cleaning supply. It does not sound like a creature. The current limitation is that most conservation objectives focus on short-term abundance increases through localized habitat restoration efforts, but they rarely account for interdependencies among habitats and the impact of future climate change, which could lead to decreased or increased success in the long term. With landscape simplification occurring at a global scale, the projected temperature rises of at least 1.5 degrees Celsius in the near term. It is critical to understand how habitat restoration can enhance the resilience of vulnerable species to a warming climate. Yeah, it does sound like a Pokemon. Recent studies have demonstrated the importance of habitat heterogeneity and connectivity for providing long-term species stability through a changing environment, often resulting in increased population abundance. Furthermore, phenotypic diversity, which is widespread in nature, has been widely proposed as a mechanism leading to increased population and community stability by buffering populations against environmental changes and extreme climatic events. However, there is limited research on the interaction between these ecological concepts, portfolio effect and habitat mosaic, and their potential application in forming restoration efforts. Specifically, little attention has been given to restoring habitat complexity at the landscape or stock complex scale to promote phenotypic diversity and enhance long-term species recovery goals. Habitat contraction and simplification are particular concern for taxa such as salmonids that rely on freshwater habitats for part of their life cycle. Spring-run Chinook salmon are at the southern edge of the species' native range, spawning and growing in a heavily modified freshwater environment. Spring-run, now listed as threatened under the U.S. Endangered Species Act, were once the backbone of California's commercial salmon fishery and found in every major watershed. Two habitat features were particularly critical to their success: access to high elevation cold water habitats for adult holding and spawning, as well as for juvenile over summer rearing; floodplain access for winter and spring juvenile rearing, and floodplain access for okay. So that's a good quote. That's a little good quote. What? This is restoring habitat mosaics. Alright, I'm just gonna put it down here. And then... yeah, I'm gonna put it right here. Also, I feel like Am I kind of doxing myself by showing my university's stuff? Well, you know, who cares? The Hydrax kind of looks like a Pokemon too. This is definitely a normal type Pokemon. This is a normal type creature. Be funny if I leaked my stream key, wouldn't it? However, as a result of mining activities and the construction of impassable dams that have eliminated access to 80% of historic spawning habitat and of various water diversion projects and habitat reclamation for farming and urban use that has led to 90% loss in CCV floodplain habitat. So there's been an 80% CVSC and CCV. So what is rock type? It only shows hydrogum. I guess it... Oh, yeah, it is rock type. You're right. Well, I feel like... There's also a tree hydrax. Yeah, so there's grass type and... There's grass type and rock type. Because the tree hydraxes are definitely... The tree hydrax is definitely... This is definitely a grass type Pokemon. It has tree in its name. Tree Hydrax is second evolution, but why would it go from rock type to tree type, or rock type to grass type? I feel like that doesn't make any sense. I think it's just like two different types, like EVs. The status of CVSC stock complex continues to worsen. What is CVSC? Spring Chinook salmon in the Central Valley. Oh, it learned to climb. Oh, California's Central Valley. Right. So CVSC is Central Valley Spring. Yeah. So CVSC equals Central Valley Spring Run Chinook, I believe. Okay. Someone should have caught that because that's a little confusing, isn't it? Only 3 tributaries of the Sacramento River continue to host self-sustaining core natural spring run populations. The Mill, Deer, and Butte Creek. The rest of the CVSC stock complex includes 1 hatchery population, 1 recovering core population, and various dependent populations. Mill and Deer Creek watersheds, which are geographically very close, provide access to some of the few remnant high-elevation thermal I know this is just plural of a refuge, but it's kind of...
Refugium.
Refugia.
Refugium.
Refugium. Oh, show up the hiding a little bit. I have to write a minuet sometime soon. Honestly, I don't even know what a minuet is. I need to like I know it's a dance from the Baroque period. Or is it from the Baroque period? I think it's from the Baroque period. But I don't know anything about it because I don't really care about classical music that much. Like, I'm just listening to Haydn because it's copyright free. I'm sorry, Haydn, but I do not give a... I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about you. I'm sorry. That was a little mean. That was a little mean-spirited. I don't dislike Haydn. It's not like my favorite thing to listen to. I'd rather be listening to Joe Henderson right now. If I could put on a Joe Henderson album right now, have you guys seen the... Joe Henderson just looks so... Joe Henderson is just so happy. He's a happy looking guy. Alright. So they provide access to a few of the remnant high elevation thermal refugia. Listen to Kevin MacLeod. Is Kevin MacLeod copyright free music? Is Kevin MacLeod copyright free? Because if it's not copyright free, I can't play it. Which have shown to benefit juvenile salmon during the extensive warm period. So they provide some of the few remnant high elevation thermal refugia left in the Central Valley, which have been shown to benefit juvenile salmon during extensive warm periods by supporting the expression of now rare yearling phenotype. Okay, that's interesting. I'm pretty sure that just because everyone was using his music in their videos, that doesn't mean that it's actually copyright free, Tom. That just means that they were using it in their videos, but that has nothing to do with the copyrightness, because you could play copyrighted music on YouTube videos and you won't necessarily ever get in trouble if the copyright holder doesn't have like a company that's telling you to shut it down, like to take it off. They'll just demonetize your video and take the ad money, right? And I don't care about that. But if it's a live stream, then they will actually take it down no matter what. On the other hand, Butte Creek watershed, which is at a much lower elevation, has access to ecologically functional floodplain, which has been shown to be food-rich and a high-growth potential environment for juvenile salmon. You shitty mitty. At that, I could use the Undertale soundtrack, or I could just like use like songs that I've written myself. Yeah, I'll play a little. I'll play a little of that one ballad, and you guys can listen to it again, even though I've sent it to you two so many times. Let's see. Where is it? Dungeon 5. This is the real bangers. Only real ones. No. Dungeon 5. So floodplains have been shown to be food rich and have high growth, or a high growth potential environment, and then the high elevation ones. Thank you, Tom. The high elevation ones are like protect them from overheating, because I remember reading in the Klamath River story, it talked about how, or no, yeah, in Shasta, I think. In Shasta, the Shasta Lake was so low that there wasn't any cold water at the bottom of the lake to like cycle up to the top of the lake, and so it was killing. The fish were dying because the water was too warm, and they had already released too much water from Shasta Lake. And so they couldn't keep the fish population healthy. Extensive habitat restoration that took place in the Butte Creek watershed during the 1990s, which included dam and weir removals and screening of water diversions, resulted in improved passage and floodplain access throughout the watershed. In other systems, dam removal had significant impacts on his habitat complexity and juvenile salmon life history diversity. The extent to which the Butte Creek restoration efforts have also altered the abundance and life history, or the expression and the stability of the ESU remains unknown. Okay, that song is done. I'm gonna turn on the Undertale soundtrack, you're right. Or Deltarune. Deltarune soundtrack. Give me Deltarune soundtrack. I can't wait for the one song with the whammy bar. I love the whammy bar song. The restoration of Butte Creek watershed is a rare example of addressing several limiting factors within a single watershed rather than spreading out watershed restoration resources across several watersheds. Therefore, it provides a unique opportunity to study the long-term effects of landscape-wide restoration on salmon populations, dynamics in variable Mediterranean climate, and to evaluate the implications for the broader stock complex. This song goes so hard. This is like one of my favorite songs on the soundtrack. Dude, I'm always saying, dude, turn this shit up. Turn this shit up. Alright. Dude, the whammy glockenspiel. You guys do not understand how much I love the whammy glockenspiel. Here we first investigate the impact of habitat restoration on adult abundance by comparing annual trends before versus after restoration and by correlating adult abundance to floodplain inundation area. Second, we explored Butte Creek River or Spring Run phenotypic diversity using otolith Stortium isotope ratios. Oh my god. Dude, I'm probably not going to, I don't know anything about otolith earstone strodium. What is an earstone? Is that like something in a fish? Oh, I see. So they're measuring. So they're measuring the strodium. Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast. Okay, so strodium is like is like absorbed like calcium. Also, is the music too loud? I don't think it's too loud. I can't really tell if it's too loud. Yeah, earstone. Are earstones like in... Earstones aren't in everything. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, I'll turn it down a little. This cannot be real. Everyone has tiny stones inside their inner ear. So they're made out of calcium carbonate and I guess strodium, because it's like it absorb, like the strodium is absorbed like calcium, right? It's kind of like how fluoride in your teeth. I'm pretty sure it's kind of like how fluoride in your teeth recalcinates your teeth, right? Or it remineralizes your teeth because the fluoride serves a similar purpose in your mouth. Loose ear stones? Yeah, what? What? Loose ear stones? Ah! Ah! This is insane. I would have never... How is this real? Also, look at these freaky looking dudes. Stop it. I cannot feel them in my ears. No, I cannot feel them in my ears. Nope. Nope. Second, we explored the Butte Creek Spring Run phenotypic diversity using otolith strodium isotope ratios and in daily growth increments to reconstruct juvenile emigration strategies and growth rates from 2003 to 2018. So they're using, I'm assuming that like the strodium is like, I'm assuming the strodium is like being absorbed bait. What if the stones were balls? Wait, dude, this is the Casio 6. This is the Casio VL1. This is the Casio VL1. Can you believe I have that keyboard right? Not right here. I have it. I have the Casio VL1. You guys know. Toby Fox used the Casio VL1 right there. Listen to that again. That is the Casio VL1. That is the Casio VL1. You guys, what? Casio VL1? Ah! We're gonna listen to it again. See, this is actually like a modified version of the sample song. If you click on there's like a sample song that plays. If you click on it, right? Or if you click on like this one button while you're in a certain mode, it plays the sample song, and it's like a modified version of this song. That is fucking insane. Sorry, I just... I just had to... I had to I had to talk about it because it is really cool to me. Also, now I might like to, okay, yeah. So we compared trade distributions from Butte Creek with those previously reported for Mill and Deer Creek. We then quantify the strength of portfolio effect before versus after restoration with different Chinook salmon or Central Valley Chinook salmon population combinations, or spring run Chinook population combinations. Finally, we discuss the results in the context of implementing process-based restoration efforts to enhance productivity and among population asynchrony to promote long-term stability of salmon stock complexes in the face of environmental change. Okay, so I have to be honest with you guys. I don't think I'm gonna read all of this materials and methods. I might read some of it. Okay, I'll play those. What the fuck? Undine's ass? What? Look at that. That's wild. I'm the okay. So 3 self-sustaining Chinook populations. So because of their geological proximity and similarity, both watersheds, the Butte and so they have similar strontium isotope ranges. I want to learn. I want to learn a 9. Can you like send me? Can you like send me piano? Can you send me the like a couple pages of the piano book, because I need to I need to do like a performance for my piano class, and so I want to learn one of the Undertale songs. Can you like send me one? Like send me one that's like good for first end of the semester, first semester piano class, because I don't think I don't want it to be that hard, but like I want to still I want to learn. It would be cool. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so both watersheds have similar strontium isotope ranges and will be combined for the otolith isotope and growth analyses described below. Maybe... Oh, that's really hard one. Let's see. Maybe... Fallen Down and Death by Glamour and Bone Trussel. You don't have to send all of them. Just choose from those, because those are bangers. Oh yeah, the Undyne song might be good too. I don't know. Okay. Honestly, I don't know all the books in the, or I don't know all the songs in the book. Is it just from this, is this the book? Oh, and then this is Piano Classrooms 2. I see. Yeah, I think I'll hear them then pick. But I really liked Fallen Down. This is a little harder. This is a little harder, the Spear of Justice. Okay, I'm gonna think about it while I'm listening to this. We're gonna learn about isotopes of strontium in watersheds. So Butte Creek originates on the western slopes of the Sierra Nevada mountains and is at a lower elevation than Mill and Deer Creek. Butte Creek flows into the Butte Sink and Sutter Bypass, which constitutes a flood bypass of approximately 214 kilometers. It is the northernmost flood bypass in the Sacramento Valley and is a crucial piece of Central Valley Flood Management Program, relieving pressure on the levees and Sacramento Feather River and the Sacramento Feather Rivers. Okay, so the Butte Creek floodplain, it's important both for the Butte Creek floodplain is both important for the salmon populations because it provides food. It provides food-rich, high-growth potential environment, but it also yeah, I'm happy I don't have ADHD, because that's yeah, ADHD is that why people say chat now because they all have ADHD and it's actually just they're streaming in real life. Let's see. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So the floodplains help relieve pressure on the levees, and that makes a lot of sense from the Save the Delta project. Because they were talking about how they think that there should be floodplain restoration before there should be the Delta Conveyance project, because and I think that makes sense. Due to the heavy channelization of major waterways, including the Sacramento River, flood bypasses have replaced a large portion of the historical floodplains in CCV in the Central Valley, and can functionally act as natural floodplains by receiving surplus water during high winter and spring flow events and providing food-rich environment for juvenile salmon. Delta, Sacramento, the San Joaquin Sacramento Delta, Delta. Floodwaters from the Sacramento River spill into the Butte Creek floodplain through the Molson, Colusa, and Tillsdale weirs. Ultimately, floodplain waters drain into the lower Sacramento River, and during large flooding events into the Yolo bypass, a similar food bypass, or flood bypass. An extensive habitat restoration program started in the lower Butte Creek watershed in the early 1990s, which included the establishment of minimum in-stream flows, dam removal, addition of fish ladders and diversion streams, altered water conveyance structures, and resulted in improved adult passage and decreased juvenile standing throughout the watershed. As a result of existing habitat restoration programs, Butte Creek spring run Chinook salmon have abundant access to their seasonal floodplain during downstream migration, while Mill and Deer Creek spring run Chinook populations can only access it when conditions are wet enough that one of the Sacramento River weirs overtops. Alright, that's pretty interesting. Alright. By the way, I have to do this speech on this in 2 days or 3 days, so that's why I'm kind of going crazy right now. But I'm learning a lot. YOLO swag. Yeah, YOLO Swag Studios. We have to look at a couple YOLO Swag Studios images. Like this classic one. I must pick men as my sexual partners. I'm or this banger. I'm always saying this. Dude. This goes insane. Okay. Subsequently, the IM functions in R. What? Oh, it's from over here. Yeah. Spring run population productivity and floodplain access. Spring run adult returns were used as an index of population productivity. Spring run Chinook salmon are the latest millennial fad. I hate my wife. Do I want your entire piano? Tom, I don't think that you should give me your entire piano. I have like 3 keyboards. I have 2 functional keyboards, a mini keyboard, and a melodica in my room right now. I don't think you need to give me another one. Also, I have another piano at my mom's house, but it's like really out of tune and like it needs like a lot of work. But if I had like an apartment, if I had like an apartment that I lived in permanently, I would totally try to get the grand piano in and get it tuned up. Or not grand piano. Yeah, I think I'm good. I think that you don't need to give me that. Yeah, I kind of figured you were joking. Spring run adult returns were used as an index of population productivity. Spring run escapement data were resourced from California Department of Fish and Wildlife Monitoring Program and represented an estimated number of adult Chinook salmon that escaped the ocean and river fisheries and successfully migrated upstream to a natural spawning area. While the escapement estimates represent the number of adult salmon available for spawning, the actual number of salmon that ultimately succeed in spawning is lower due to pre-spawning mortality, which is typically less than 10%, but has exceeded 90% due to extreme drought conditions. So pre-spawning mortality is typically that's crazy. That's crazy. Over that's a lot of Dude, my mom's piano is so out of tune that even falling down would sound bad. It is really bad. Also, I'm not good at piano yet. I don't know. I need to learn a cool song. While imperfect, the adults considered in this study were assumed to come back to their natal spawn stream at age 3, which corresponds to the dominant age at spawning for these Central Valley spring run Chinook populations. based on the Central Valley Spring Run Chinook adult spawn timing, the juvenile immigration timing, we have found the relationship. Primary juvenile immigration year equals adult return year minus 2. In other words, adults come back to spawn in year Y, where we're primarily immigrating from the freshwater as juveniles during year Y minus 2. To investigate the impact of Butte Creek restoration efforts on spring run population productivity, we analyzed the relationship between 2004 and 2020 escapement estimates and the population or proportion of floodplain that was inundated in 2 years prior. First, a stage inundation relationship was used to estimate the floodplain inundation area. This involved determining wetted areas from Landsat NDWI calculations and matching the date of imagery from the associated mean daily stage of Meridian Pass Road. I got a reverb. Yeah, fish do spawn, and they are gamers. Salmon, like salmon from Minecraft. Floodplain inundation area was then transformed into proportion of inundation. A Gompertz model was fitted on the parameters of the state. Where's Gompertz from? Let's see. It's a little silly name. It's Germanic. Gunt and Bert. So Battle Bright. The Battle Bright. Did you know that Aaron Solomon Gompertz was the first Prussian Jew who obtained a doctor's degree? That's wild. In 1951. Or 1751. That's mildly interesting. 5 scrolls? That's like Elder Scrolls, but it is not Elder Scrolls. This is not Elders. These are not the Elder Scrolls. This is the Torah Scrolls. Did you guys ever listen to that one banger? The Nazi version of Making Whoopee? That song goes insane. That song it goes insane. It's so horrible. Yeah, this song, oh my god, it's so good. I'm allowed to say this because Okay, you guys are not ready for this. I'm gonna cut it off before it says anti-Semitic slur. Because it does say an anti-Semitic slur. But I'm gonna cut it off before there.
The Jews of USA have asked Eddie Cantor to write a new version of his famous old-timer Makin' Whoopee. In one of his latest programs on the air, he sang the following song. Another war, another prophet, another Jewish Christmas, another season, another reason for making whoopee. A lot of dough, a lot of gold, the British Empire.
No, I'm pretty sure that yes, this is the
Being sold, we're in the money. Thanks to Frankie, we're making whoopee. Washington is our ghetto, Roosevelt our king.
Okay. I think we're done with this because I think it does say a slur very soon after that. It's so good. It's so good. Why did I even bring that up? I don't know, but it's really good. I don't approve though. It's bad. Yeah, this is Fallout before it went woke. Okay, where was I? Shit. Oh yeah, floodplain inundation. So the Gompertz model was fitted and the parameters of the stage proportion of inundation relationship were estimated using a nonlinear least squares model. I know the least squares model. Using the NLS function from the stats package in our version. Subsequently, the IM function was used to fit a linear regression between annual Butte Creek escapement estimates and the average proportion of floodplain inundated during the October-May juvenile immigration period. Read the comments. True spaghetti. Alright, It's really funny because it's kind of funny that like the Nazis liked use swing music when swing music very much lots of it's all Voshites. It's all Vosh fans. Or multiple Vosh fans in the comments. New Wolfenstein soundtrack. Alright. The same analysis was carried out for the Mill and Deer Creek populations that only have access to Butte Creek floodplain during their Weir overtopping events. Dude, this part of it goes hard. How did Toby Fox genius? Toby Fox is like Einstein. Oh yeah, I need to like. Let's see. I need my posture is a little. I can't hunch over and go like. That's bad. Okay. Spring Run juvenile life history and growth rate reconstructions. So the otolith sampling. Adult Butte Creek salmon spring run otoliths were collected from carcasses retrieved during annual spawner surveys. Isn't it kind of crazy that salmon... Have you guys ever seen that banger? The banger Lisa versus Toby Fox meme. It's so fucking dumb. I can't tell if this was made ironically by like some shit poster on Twitter or made by like some like weird Nazi. I'm pretty sure it's made ironically, considering I think I've been told, I've gone over this before, and I'm pretty sure everyone, or I'm pretty sure it was Nyan who told me, oh yeah, there's like multiple gay characters in Lisa, and Jorgensen is like very, very pro gay rights, but the hobbies reading Homestuck versus performing martial arts, it goes insane. This is I'm reviewing too many anti-Semitic shit posts right now. That's bad. Don't do that. Okay. Yeah, I'm distracted. I'm distracting myself. I have until 5, and then I have to go and play bass and go right. So I have like 4 hours, and then I have to play bass. So don't distract me. I'm not getting distracted. I'm reading. Yeah, it is really a classic. It is really a classic. So the ear stones were extracted from a total of 544 Butte Creek adults and used for strontium isotope analysis. Combined, these data span a wide range of freshwater hydrological conditions and water year types from wet to critically dry. So they were prepared at the UC Davis. Per established techniques, the otoliths were ground on both sides in the sagittal plane, using 600 and 150 grit wet/dry sandpaper to expose the primordia and surrounding microstructure. The surfaces were then polished using 3 and 1 nanometer aluminum oxide lapping films. See, I can read That's aluminum oxide, right? And I know about aluminum oxide. Finished samples were mounted on 1 centimeter square glass pedestal using Gorilla Glue. Otolith's dorsal side was photographed in 20 times magnification using Q imaging digital camera and mounted to an Olympus microscope. Following the imaging, otoliths were analyzed for what is it called again? Strontium 87 and strontium 86 at the UC Davis Interdisciplinary Center for Inductively Coupled Plasma Mass Spectrometry or spectrometry you know, I never claim to be an English person. Spectrometry. Yeah, it is spectrometry. By laser ablation on their multi-collector inductivity coupled mass spectrometer, otolith strontium isotope analysis was used to construct juvenile freshwater habitat use and migration histories. In brief, the strontium 87 and 86 levels of freshwater habitats varies as a function of watershed lithologies and weathering patterns. Because there is a negatable biological fractation of strontium isotopes during incorporation into otolith matrix, the otoliths directly record the signature of the surrounding water and dietary sources. That's actually really cool. I'm gonna call my dad about this in a bit. Like once I'm done streaming, once I read this. So, Strode is okay. So they're using it to reconstruct rearing and migration behaviors. Movement reconstruction. The otolith radius was used as a proxy for fish size at natal and freshwater exit, given the linear relationship between otolith size and fish size at early life stages. The otolith radius for each measurement was estimated by measuring the distance from otolith's core at the center to the laser pit along the standardized 90-degree axis. Strontium isotope profiles representing changes in the strontium Dude, I have to learn this song. This goes insane. Dude. Okay. Specific strontium threshold values were used to identify the movement of Central Valley spring Chinook juveniles from one rearing region to another. These values come from Central Valley Isotope Database. The Butte Creek migratory corridor was separated into 4 geographic locations. Natal tributary. That's an important vocabulary word. Which encompasses the entire Butte Creek watershed, including Butte Creek floodplain. The Sacramento River, the Sacramento San Joaquin Delta, and the San Francisco San Pablo Bay and Ocean. Changes in strontium and threshold excidence values were used along the monolith transect to identify the shifts between each region. Natal tributary exit, delta entry, and freshwater exit. Otolith radius at the natal exit was calculated by linearly interpolating between otolith distances at the strontium measurements on either side of the strontium threshold value between the Sutter Bypass and Sacramento River at the Elkhorn. Sacramento River at Freeport strontium value threshold was used to identify the migration of spring run juveniles into the main stem Sacramento River into the delta. Finally, otolith radius for freshwater exit was calculated by linearly interpolating between the otolith distances for strontium measurements on either side of the Chips Island threshold value with a threshold value of 0.7078. Okay, that's interesting. So they're using different strontium use of their So, an onolith radius fork length relationship for Central Valley Fall Run Chinook developed by Sturrock was applied to reconstruct fish sizes at natal and freshwater exit, while applying individual otolith size calibration curves for specific ESUs. Is recommended to avoid spurious size reconstructions given the protected status of the Central Valley Spring Run Chinook. Lethal sampling of juveniles to develop such curves was not possible. Additionally, the use of Central Valley Fall Run as surrogates is approximate as Central Valley Fall and Spring Run Chinook salmon spawn and emigrate. Or is appropriate, not approximate. Oops. Is appropriate because they emigrate at similar sizes and exhibit overlapping geographic distributions. Constructed natal and freshwater exit size for Butte Creek juveniles range from 33 to 146 millimeters and 49 to 152 millimeters respectively. Otoliths increment numbers were estimated by digitized otolith images using Image Pro Premiere and use a proxy for fish age as they permit estimation of the number of days since the fish emergence. Moreover, habitat-specific freshwater juvenile growth rates were reconstructed from increment widths measured in each isotopically distinct habitat region of the otolith. Each otolith reading was assigned a score of certainty on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 representing highest certainty. The index is a combination of the reader's confidence in the accuracy of the increment placement and the quality of or readability of the image. Otoliths with poor readability were eliminated from the analysis. A total of 310 otoliths were used for the growth analysis. The number of days spent in the freshwater region, or each freshwater region for Butte Creek, Mill, and Deer Creek populations were estimated, and freshwater growth rates were compared across populations. As mentioned earlier, Mill and Deer Creek populations were combined for the growth analysis. Lethal sampling. Lethal company. Whoa! Oh! To assess the stability of each spring run population as well as the overall stability of the spring run stock complex through time, the CV in adult returns were calculated for each population independently for the group populations for pre-restoration and post-restoration. Alright, so we're finally on to the results. After habitat restoration efforts started in the early 1990s, Butte Creek spring run encampment abundance increased significantly with about 2,000% increase in average abundance. The Butte Creek population is now the most abundant spring run Chinook salmon population in the stock complex. In contrast, the Deer Creek and Mill Deer Creek populations, which used to play a more important role in the stock complex productivity, have experienced steady decline in adult abundance and are now at relatively low escapement levels. Alright. Asgore. Also, I'm sorry that, like... Nine, I'm sorry that the cursing... That it doesn't like cursing, but I'm clicking that it allows cursing. I love the corporate pog. Corporate fish pog. Actually, this fish pog goes hard. A significant positive relationship was found between the proportion of Butte Creek floodplain inundation and the Butte Creek escapement levels 2 years later. Over a wide range of hydrological conditions, no significant correlations were found, however, between the proportion of Butte Creek floodplain inundation and the Mill and Deer Creek escapement levels 2 years later, which may be expected due to limited opportunities for Mill and Deer Creek juveniles to access the Butte Creek floodplain. Weak correlations were also found between river flows in the main stem Sacramento River and Delta Mills and the Delta Sacramento River in the Delta, and Mill and Deer Creek escapement sizes. Collectively, this suggests that the relationship in Figure 3 is not simply a genetic wet year effect shared across watersheds. I think I can change it so I can change it so it doesn't hide cursing. Or I think even Nyan, you're a moderator, I think you could change it even. I don't know how it works. So it isn't just a wet year. Basically what it's saying is that there is a significant positive relationship between the there's like the significant positive relationship between the like floodplain restoration and the escapement rates, right? But then the Butte Creek floodplain, or because the Mill and Deer Creek juveniles can't access the Butte Creek floodplain very well because they only get 20 days per year. I'm pretty sure you're a moderator. I don't know. Okay, I just made you moderator 9. You're like a managing moderator. So don't abuse your powers, but while recent Butte Creek spring run spawner abundance is usually several orders of magnitude greater than Mill and Deer Creek populations, a wider range of juvenile life history strategies was found in Mill and Deer Creek spring run fish, specifically the otolith isotopes profiles in their hierarchical clustering analysis indicates 3 distinct juvenile life history types in Butte Creek population, which we refer to as early, intermediate, and late migrants. However, while we kept the same nomenclature, 3 life history types were not entirely comparable to Mill and Deer Creek early, intermediate, and late life history strategies, and were more closely aligned to fry, par, or smolts groups observed in Sturrock. With the majority of the fish belonging to intermediate immigration style, followed by the late type and then the early type. Furthermore, the size and age distributions of the 3 life history strategies at yeah, that is cool. Okay, well, I could make you a mod too. I can make anyone a mod. The size and age distributions of the 3 life strategies at natal and freshwater exit were more uniform and constrained for Butte Creek than Mill and Deer Creek. In general, Butte Creek juveniles left their natal grounds smaller and earlier than their Muir Creek counterparts, and yearling strategy was largely absent. Additionally, Butte Creek juveniles consistently entered the bay and ocean at more similar and smaller sizes than Mill and Deer Creek, regardless of the migrant strategy. One second. Salmon. Hi, Sean. Salmon moment. Yeah, I went. Sorry, I went. Hassan Piker for a moment. While Butte Creek Spring Run population had the lowest CV during the pre-Butte Creek restoration period, its CV did not decrease as much as the Mill Deer Creek populations during the post-restoration period. However, the large Butte Creek population increase after 1994 led to a significant increase in the post-restoration abundance of Butte, Mill, and Deer Creek populations. And a 68 or 38% decrease in the combined population's post-restoration CV. Additionally, during the post-restoration period, a strong correlation was found between Mill and Deer Creek abundances, but very little correlation was found between Butte and Mill Creek or Butte and Deer Creek abundances. However, the correlation between Butte and Mill Creek and Butte and Deer Creek abundances increased considerably during the post-restoration period, while the correlation between Mill and Deer Creek abundances slightly decreased, suggesting an overall increased synchronization in the stock dynamics. So you can kind of see the strodium levels and how it changes, and how that affects the otolith rate, and that correlating with the otolith radius. Spring run Chinook salmon populations in the Central Valley have experienced dramatic declines as a result of anthropogenic factors that dramatically reduce the quality and access to high-quality freshwater spawning and rearing habitats. The Central Valley Chinook stock complex is also particularly vulnerable to warming, as they need cold, fresh water refuges for adults to hold in the summer until they spawn in the fall. And for juvenile yearlings to rear over summer before migrating to the ocean in the fall. Okay. I think I'm gonna use this as like a really easy quote to like talk about like the problem. Right? That guy is drinking blood. Why is this guy drinking blood? Dude, there's fucking Wizard Monkey. Look at Wizard Monkey. Balloons tower defense moment. Wizard Monkey. One exception is that Butte Creek Spring Run Chinook population has exhibited a large increase in overall productivity after extensive watershed restoration efforts that started in the 1990s. This restoration action is considered one of the most holistic and successful recovery efforts in the Central Valley, with abundance increases of 2,000% following passage improvements throughout the watershed. This multi-life stage approach highlights that when limiting factors are mitigated and juvenile fish can experience the benefits of access to one of the last Central Valley ecologically functional floodplains, population recovery can be realized. Yeah, I think that this is like, that's the biggest takeaway from this study that needs to be used for the speech that I need to write. Humble proletarian monkey. Yeah, it is like I just don't know they should have Fred Figglehorn as an emote. That'd be awesome. Where's the Fred Figglehorn emote? We found that following restoration activities, Butte Creek Spring Run adult abundance was positively correlated with increased floodplain inundation area 2 years prior, while Mill and Deer Creek abundances, which have a very limited floodplain access, do not show correlation. This demonstrates the importance of Butte Creek floodplain to recovering the Butte Creek Spring Run. For example, 2006 outmigrants across the Central Valley experienced high river flows but poor ocean conditions that resulted in low numbers of returns and the ultimate collapse of the fishery in 2008 through 6, and that's why there was a 2-year gap between that's why there was a 2-year gap where the fisheries shut down in 2008 and 2009, and there's actually another 2-year gap in 2023 and 2024, or is it 2022 and 2023? I forgot. The fact that Butte Creek escapement remained above 10,000 spawners in 2008 is a testament to the buffering effect of floodplain access, with 50% floodplain inundation area apparently providing significant growth and survival benefits to its outmigrants. For Mill and Deer Creek spring run populations, other factors such as water temperature, nonlinear relationships with floodplain inundation, and or their different outmigration pathway, including a far longer stretch of the main stem Sacramento River, might have a stronger influence on the population size. Importantly, in contrast to Butte Creek, Mill and Deer Creeks experienced relatively low numbers of returns in 2008 and 2019, despite having experienced relatively wet conditions during outmigration. As mentioned above, 2006 outmigrants experienced poor ocean conditions that resulted in an ultimate collapse of the fishery. Low returns in 2016 to 2017 following the extreme 2014-2015 drought resulted in low juvenile production and thus low returns in 2019. It is important to note that a significant relationship between Butte Creek escapement and its floodplain inundation area 2 years prior was observed despite the noise undoubtedly introduced by our oversimplified assumption that all spawners had returned at age 3. While natural origin Central Valley spring run adults do predominantly return to spawn at age 3, some interannual adult age structure variability has been observed for Feather River and Butte Creek spring run populations, particularly with a non-negligible proportion of age 2 and age 4 spawners in some years. It has been shown in other Pacific Northwest watersheds that yearlings tend to mature earlier than... Dude, this song goes hard too. What song? Oh, this is Zelda music. That's not the same music. That's Majora's Mask. We're listening to album tune-up. Raising the possibility for Mill and Deer Creek spring run populations, which are characterized by a large proportion of yearling migrants, to harbor a greater proportion of age 4 spawners than previously thought. Consequently, having accurate estimates of annual spawner age structure in Mill, Deer, and Butte Creek spring run adult cohorts could help refine the relationship between environmental factors such as floodplain inundation and population productivity. Yeah, I just put book 2 on. Access to off-channel habitats in the lower Butte Creek watershed has also been previously related to enhanced juvenile salmon growth, and likely explains the high growth rates that were absorbed among Butte Creek juveniles compared to Mill and Deer Creek fish. In comparison, fish reared in enclosures in off-channel habitats in the Butte Creek floodplain in 2019 had an average growth rate of 0.55 millimeters a day. Slightly lower than what we report here. However, the reconstructed Butte Creek juvenile rates from this study were within the range of growth rates measured by free swimming and enclosure fish reared in the Yolo Bike Pass, with growth rates ranging from 0.55 to 0.80 millimeters a day. This fast early growth allowed Butte Creek juveniles to leave the natal reaches and exit the freshwater earlier than Mill and Deer Creek juveniles, potentially avoiding critically warm migration conditions later in the spring, especially during dry years, and leading to better growth and survival opportunities in the ocean. Butte Creek provides a textbook example for how salmon populations at risk of extinction can respond to coordinated watershed restoration by focusing efforts to take advantage of existing high-quality habitat and eliminating several key demographic bottlenecks. Important growth and survival benefits can be unleashed to increase abundance of by several orders of magnitude. Yeah, that's kind of like the big takeaway is that the floodplain. Oh, I haven't seen the art in the books. I'm looking forward to seeing them because the Undertale art book is so cool. Yeah, at the population. Yeah, so I think that's the biggest takeaway is that like the importance of floodplains is kind of contextual because in the Deer and Mule Creek Deer and Mill and Deer Creek. So the Mill and Deer Creek have different needs because they have less access to natural flood plains, right? And then restoration of the Butte Creek flood plains allowed for Alright, I'm getting a phone call, 1 second. This is wild. Okay, I'm back. That was the... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot to 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 keep the music on. I'm sorry. I should have kept the music on. That was dumb. It was a survey. They were surveying me. Okay. Butte Creek appears to exhibit lower phenotypic diversity than the other spring run strongholds. Spring run strongholds. That's a very nice way to phrase it. Indeed, most Butte Creek juveniles reared in their natal watershed and floodplain then migrated to the oceans in the spring at par or smolt sizes. Only a small portion of juveniles were found to leave the Butte Creek watershed at fry or rear in downstream habitats. And only one confirmed yearling reared over summer in Butte Creek and migrated to the ocean in fall. The limited rearing of Butte Creek juveniles in the mainstream Sacramento River and Delta suggests that when there is sufficient habitat within a natal watershed, non-natal rearing in downstream habitats is uncommon. While juveniles are sometimes observed in upper Butte Creek watersheds in the summer, the rarity of the yearling phenotype in the spawner population is presumably related to the elevated summer and early fall-winter temperatures observed in both Butte Creek spawning and the floodplain habitat, making it unlikely for juveniles to survive over summer and during the fall migration. This constrained migration pattern is consistent with juvenile trawl catch data at Chips Island in the San Francisco estuary, where genetically identified Butte Creek spring run fish were observed passing this location over a compressed time window at very similar sizes. In comparison, Mill and Deer Creek spring run populations exhibited various distinct juvenile life history strategies and higher interannual variability. Specifically, the late migrating strategy supported by access to high elevation cold water refuges was found to be a key for Deer and Mill Creek spring run salmon populations who persist through years of delayed ocean upwelling or drought conditions. Okay, that's interesting. So salmon strong. Similarly, this life history strategy was predominant in Chinook salmon populations found in northern latitudes as a result of low growth opportunities for juvenile salmons due to cold water temperatures and decreased daylight hours. While Butte Creek abundance sharply increased post-restoration, it has also been characterized by high interannual escapement variability in recent decades, with relatively low adult abundances following some particularly dry years. This and the strong relationship with floodplain inundation area suggests Butte Creek spring run is still vulnerable to drought. However, post-restoration, they appear to have much greater ability to bounce back from extreme climate events, which we attribute to higher average abundance, largely relating to the increased passage, water supply, and floodplain access. On the other hand, Mill and Deer Creek's populations lower post-restoration CV, which is so they're this CV is the variability. So they have higher population stability, is likely unrelated to the Butte Creek restoration effort, but due to their chronically low abundances with very infrequent years of high returns. These recent low adult abundances have put Mill and Deer Creek populations at high risk of extinction, while the large increase in Butte Creek population size observed after 1994 now drives the overall California Central Valley Spring Run Chinook stock complex abundance and decreases the overall stock extinction risk. When combining the abundances of the three spring run populations, a decrease in the overall variability was observed post-restoration, suggesting an increase in portfolio effect stability at the stock complex level. However, this observation was contradicted by an increase in pairwise correlation between Butte and Mill and Butte and Deer Creek abundances across the same period, suggesting an overall increase in among stock synchronization. Recent increases in synchronicity or synchrony have also been reported among Central Valley Fall Run Chinook salmon populations and threatened Chinook salmon populations in Snake River Basin, and were found to be coincident with increased off-site hatchery releases in the Central Valley and increased in-hatchery propagation and large dam numbers in the Snake River. Although there is a spring run hatchery in the Feather River watershed, its influence on natural mill, Deer and Butte Creek spring run populations is thought to be small, if any. It is likely that an increase in climate volatility in California that affects both freshwater and marine ecosystems is driving the increased synchronicity of the Central Valley Chinook salmon, Chinook spring run Chinook stock complex. Collectively, these results highlight potentials for limitations of using the Central Valley for assessing population stability, particularly for populations that are close to extinction. It is also important to consider abundance and other diversity in synchrony indicators to understand how to enhance the resilience of individuals and grouped populations to environmental perturbations. The geomorphological and hydrological differences between watersheds gives rise to critical among population life history diversity. Here, differences in the frequency of outmigration phenotypes between Butte Creek and Mill Deer Creek Spring Run will likely play an important part in the recovery of the Spring Run ESU. For example, California is predicted to have an increased whiplash weather, with more frequent periods of extreme drought followed by floods, with more frequent periods of extreme drought followed by floods. California's late spring and summer river temperatures often exceed the physiological tolerance limits for these species, resulting or reducing survival during spring out-migration and making access to cold water critical for over-summering. That was insane. Is it over? No, it isn't. That's good. Dude, Frisk is like... Look at Frisk. Epic Frisk. I like Frisk. Cordeliani demonstrated that the yearlings on Mill and Deer Creek are functionally the only out-migrant phenotype that survives through droughts in the Central Valley due to their access of cold over-summering habitats and delayed out-migration into fall when downstream water's temperatures are cooler. Okay, that is also important. So that shows like the importance of restoring these natural spawning grounds, right? Alright. Butte Creek Spring Run out-migrate during a more compressed time window in the spring, and thus a greater proportion of their juvenile production may be impacted by droughts. However, an average to high precipitation years with increased floodplain inundation, Butte Creek juveniles appear to exhibit disproportionately high survival, resulting in high increases in adult abundances. This asynchrony in out-migration phenotypes between watersheds and their respective survival advantages under differing hydroclimatic conditions will likely play a critical role in the ongoing persistence of the ESU in a changing California climate. If individual spring run populations are lost, or if there is increased synchrony in out-migration phenotypes, we would anticipate an increased risk of extinction. This study provides a missing link between the spatial diversity metric used for variability assessment in Chinook salmon stocks across the Central Valley that accounts for the diversity of ecoregions represented in the stock complex but does not explicitly incorporate a habitat component, and watershed scale restoration efforts generally implemented in the CCV to increase Chinook population abundance. While the juvenile outmigration diversity for Butte Creek Spring Run was found to be narrower than Mill and Deer Creek populations, this work highlights the importance of large-scale restoration efforts to promote increased abundance and asynchrony in among population dynamics to support the recovery of the stock complex as a whole. Specifically, this work demonstrates the increased value in prioritizing a variety of restoration actions that promote habitat heterogeneity across watersheds. Example, cold water refuge and floodplains to buffer the entire stock complex to catastrophic. Okay, so that's what I need to like talk about in this policy advocacy speech is using the different advantages of different like areas in ecosystems to help with that, you know. Oh my god. I'm kind of getting tired, honestly. I'm getting a little tired. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. More globally, most conservation conservation objectives focus on short-term abundance benefits that would be achieved through localized habitat restoration efforts, assuming if you build it, they will come. However, these efforts may not fully account for landscape size, scale, physical and ecological processes that are crucial for maintaining healthy production or populations in a dynamic environment. As our climate rapidly changes, it is essential to reassess the conservation approaches and prioritize building adaptive capacity in species in order to achieve long-term recovery goals. Here we highlight the importance of landscape-scale, process-based conservation approaches that reconcile two key ecological concepts, habitat mosaic and the portfolio effect. Specifically, yeah, that's a good quote. To battle against a true hero. Hell yeah. We're becoming ecologists together. One second. Sorry, I need to look at something that was funny. Okay. Specifically, this involves restoring habitat heterogeneity and complexity to support a diverse mosaic of habitats that foster the expression of it like literally explains what these things are. All right. Multiple phenotypes to enhance the abundance and resilience of vulnerable species like Chinook salmon. This may require expanding the Central Valley Chinook stock complex geological distribution to include lost ecoregions through population reintroduction into habitats through above impassable dams and natural barriers watersheds, which would provide access to cold water and habitats for spawning and rearing even in a warming climate. Also using targeted restoration efforts in selections of migratory corridor identified as survival bottlenecks in the Central Valley. The main stem California River and Delta can have dramatic effects on productivity. Additionally, this study shows strong support for designing habitat restoration and flow management efforts that create ecologically functional floodplains such as Yolo Creek floodplain and Butte Creek floodplain and Yolo bypass, and reconnect them to main stem rivers to provide multi-population benefits. Collectively, such efforts would boost abundance and amplify asynchrony among populations to lead to further reduction in the extinction risk of the CVSC stock complex, which is currently relying on core populations belonging to the same ecoregion that are likely be impacted by the same local catastrophic climate events. A landscape scale restoration efforts proposed to improve the resilience of CVSC stock complex could be seen as comparable to the development of marine protected areas, which are designed to promote connectivity between populations and habitats, and is recognized as a powerful conservation tool for the recovery of marine species worldwide. Okay, mind blown. We just finished it. That was a crazy. We just learned ecology right there. And now I'm really tired, and I'm tired now, and okay. Yeah, I'm kind of tired now because we finished the ecology. Ecology is no more. After we beat it, we beat ecology, and now there is no longer ecology. It is only me being tired and having a sore throat from reading for like 2 hours. 2.5 hours of reading. Yeah, we read out loud for 2.5 hours straight, and it was kind of tiring. But I'm gonna go now. Nyan, if you're here, maybe Nyan and Tom, if you want, we could maybe game for a bit before I go to my rehearsal, or not my rehearsal, my performance, because I'm kind of tired and I wanna take a little